Look at that turkey on the wall. You see that turkey? If you look real close, you'll see he's got a little necktie on. That turkey is all dressed up. He's fit to kill. And that might be we're going to have turkey and dressing this time. Now, also above my head, you're going to see that we've got good vibes in here. So we've got turkey and dressing and with good vibes. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll have good vibes while we go through this chapter 48. There's only 2 more chapters, and then we're going to go to Exodus. So let's look at something for just a moment. You've heard, I'm sure, it says somebody's real busy or they don't care or something, and they say, your left hand doesn't even know what your right hand is doing. Well, that has never had more importance in anybody's life than Ephraim and Manasseh. They are 2 different brothers, and where the left hand is and the right hand is, it's going to make a whole lot of difference. And Ephraim and Manasseh, they're children of Joseph, the only 2 he's got right now. And Jacob is the daddy. So remember that. We got Jacob is the daddy, granddaddy. Joseph is his son, and 2 of his sons are his only 2 sons are Ephraim and Manasseh. So it's going to hold their whole future, whether the right hand knows what the left hand's doing, or if the left hand even counts for anything. Now let's get started. Let's look at chapter 48 in Genesis. Open your Bible to chapter 48, and we're going to see if the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. Oh, here we go. First of all, this is going to be coming from something that's going to sound so strange from the last chapter that we had, because in chapter 47, Jacob passed away. Well, in chapter 48, he's alive again. So that tells you either one of 2 things. Either you're going to try to read it literally and go crazy, or you're going to realize these are 2 different writers. So one does not have to be chronologically in order with the other. This redactor or editor just picks them out, picks out the verses, and puts them where he thinks they sound okay. And he takes those different writers and he makes one continuous story. So let's look now. Now remember, in chapter 47, he's passed away. In chapter 48, we have this. Sometime afterwards, Joseph was informed, your father is failing. He's just now starting to fail here, but he was already failed in the past. So he took along with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. These are his 2 sons that we were talking about just a while ago. And when Jacob was told, your son Joseph has come to you, Israel rallied his strength. Now, Israel is the same one as Jacob. It's just sometimes the writer refers to him as Jacob, sometimes as Israel. He's the one that Jacob had his name changed to Israel by God. Verse 2. When Jacob was told, your son Joseph has come to you, Israel recalled his strength and sat up in bed. Verse 3. Now we're going to go to a different writer again. We're in a writer from the south. That's what most of it is. But he's already died in the writer from the south. So in the north, he's failing now. And now we're going to go to the writer is going to be a priest. And the priest, we know it's a priest because he's going to be using the place of Adam Aram. When we read that, we see that it's the priest. Now, you can't keep up with all of these, but if we go back and look at each chapter, you'll find a verse or 2 here and a verse or 2 here that they go together, but they got something else in the middle of them because the editor is just picking them up and putting them the way he wants them to be. This one is from the priest, so it's going to be something that's entirely different. Jacob then said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessing me, he said, I will make you fertile and multiply you and make you into an assembly of people, and I will give this land to your descendants, and after you a permanent possession. So this is going to be his permanent people, only it's not going to be permanent because Israel is going to fall. But these writers, they're writing the stories that they're telling. Verse 5 says, so now Your 2 sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt, before I joined you here, they shall be mine. He's taken his son's sons, and he says they're going to be like my sons. And there's a reason for that. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine as much as Reuben and Simeon are mine. Now remember, Reuben and Simeon are not with his favorite wife. So these grandsons are just as much a son as the sons of Leah or Bilhah or Zilpah, the maidservants, and the other wife that he had. But they're not the same as Joseph, and they're not the same as Benjamin, because those are the sons with his favorite wife, Rachel. Verse 6, progeny born to you after them shall remain yours. Everybody after that, all your other kids, they're going to be yours. But their inheritance shall be recorded in the names of their brothers. They will just be in the name of their brothers. But these 2, Manasseh and Ephraim, they are going to be like his children. Now, I think there's a numerical reason for this. Jacob has 12 sons. 10 of them are going to be of the 12 tribes of Israel. But one can't, because one of them is named Levi, and Levi is what we have. They start the Levitical priests, or the priests following Levi. And priests don't get those big chunks of land. So now we got 11, but we want to have 12. So Joseph is the favorite son. He's not the oldest, but he's going to be the favorite, because the oldest never seems to get what's supposed to be his. Reuben is the older son, but he doesn't get it. You remember back in Esau and Jacob. Esau was the oldest, but the second got it, Jacob. The older son, this writer likes to tease us this way, I think. The oldest one that's supposed to get a double portion doesn't get it. The oldest son is Reuben, but he's with the other wife, with Leah. So the one that's going to get the double portion is going to be his son. But if he gives it to him, now they just got 11 tribes and you want 12. So what he's going to do, he's going to give those 2 southern sons of Joseph. And now we've got 12 again. We lose out on Levi. We lose out on Joseph. Now we got Manasseh and Ephraim to take their place. So we got 12 again. Here comes the good part. I do this because when I was returning from Padan Aram, that tells us it's the priest that's talking, Padan Aram, your mother, Rachel, that's the one he loved, she died, and to my sorrow, during the journey of Canaan. While we were still a short distance from Ephrath, I buried her there on the way to Ephrath, now Bethlehem. So Bethlehem used to be called Ephrath. Verse 8. Now we're going to that northern source again, like we had back before. This is going to be a writer from the north. When Israel saw Joseph's sons, he asked, "Who are these?" "They are my sons," Joseph answered his father, "whom God has given me here." "Bring them to me," said the father, "that I may bless them." He's going to bless them, but you just watch, see what's going to happen. Now Israel's eyes were dim. Now I don't know why it tells us that, except you remember Isaac's eyes were dim. That might be telling us that there's going to be a son that shouldn't be getting the blessing that will get it, because that's what happened with Isaac. His eyes were dim, and he chose Jacob over Esau, even though Esau was the older one. Remember, that was the red stew, and that was the hairy arms with the goat skin. Verse 10. Now Israel's eyes were dim from age. He could not see well. He can't see well, but this has nothing to do with who he's going to choose. When Joseph brings his sons close to him, he kissed and embraced them. He loves those grandchildren. Then Israel said to Joseph, I never expected to see your face again. He thought he was dead, remember. I never expected to see your face again. And now God has allowed me to see your descendants as well. So again, he's ready to die. because he's seen his not only his son, but his grandsons now. Joseph removed them from his father's knees. They were sitting on Jacob's knees, and bowed down before him with his face to the ground. He's bowing down to his daddy. Then Joseph took the two, Ephraim with his right hand, and Israel at Israel's left, and Manasseh with his left hand to Israel's right, and brought him up to be blessed by him. So he's lined up his sons and brought them to Jacob, Joseph has, and he's put on where he's got it fixed so that his right hand will go on Manasseh, and Manasseh is the older son. But now we're going to see what happens. 14. But Israel crossed his hands. So the right hand's going to go over there rather than over here. And he put his right hand and laid it on the head of Ephraim, not the older one. Head of Ephraim, although he was the younger. He's not the older, he's the younger. And his left hand on the head of Manasseh, although he was the firstborn and the older and should get the double portion and the blessing. But this never happens, does it? The younger one always seems to edge out the older one. Verse 15. Then he blessed them with these words. May the God of whose presence my father Abraham and Isaac walked with, the God who has been my shepherd from my birth to this day, the angel who has delivered me from all harm, bless these boys that in them my name may be recalled, and the names of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and they may become teeming multitudes upon the earth. May they conquer the earth. When Joseph saw that his father had laid the right hand on Ephraim's head, that's the younger one, this seemed wrong to him. So he took hold of his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's hand so he could put it on Manasseh's head, the older one, saying, that's not right. Father, the other one is the firstborn. Lay your hand on his head. That's not because he can't see. But the father says, but his father refused. I know it, son. I know it. He said, I know it. That one too shall become a people, and two shall become great. Nevertheless, his younger brother shall surpass him. The younger one is going to be the one that's got the blessing. And his descendants shall become a multitude of nations. Verse 20. So he blessed them that day and said, by you shall the people of Israel pronounce blessing, saying, God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. Thus he placed Ephraim before Manasseh. He put the younger one before the older one. Then Israel said to Jacob, I am about to die. He's about to die for about the third time. But God will be with you and will restore you to the land of your ancestors. They're going to restore you to the land because they're not in the land right now. They're not in Israel. They're in Egypt. As for me, I give to you as to the one above you, his brothers, Shechem. I give you Shechem. Now, Shechem is the name of a city. It's like saying, I'm giving you an extra city because he's getting twice the blessing and twice the land. So he's getting an extra Shechem, an extra area of property. Verse 22 again, and that's the last one. As for me, I give to you as the one above his brothers, I give you a Shechem, which I captured from the Amorites with my sword and bow. So, if there was ever a time when we say this guy is either too busy or he doesn't pay any attention, he doesn't even know what his left hand is doing. One hand doesn't know what the other one's doing. Well, they knew what this hand was doing, but Joseph was not pleased with the way it went about. But Jacob took the younger one, just like Isaac took Jacob over Esau, took the younger one and made him going to be over the other. he got an extra Shechem, an extra city, or an extra piece of property. You know, we only got 2 more chapters in Genesis, and then we will be going to Exodus. And Exodus, they're going to still be in the desert, but they're not going to have that promised, not going to have that real promised thing above everybody else, where everybody else lost their land in the last chapter, and Jacob's family got the best land in the country. The tables are going to turn, and the people of Israel, the people of Egypt, they're going to have a little change also. I thank you for watching this, and goodbye. God bless you, and peace be with you. And watch that turkey behind me, and good vibes. May you have good vibes this week. God bless.